Well, let's see what this Kamika Vm20 is all about, shan't we? My setup for this little comparison, and again, we're going to be comparing these mics in their intended use, which is going to be that vlogging style. So the microphones are going to be set up approximately 2.5 to 3 feet away from my mouth. Again, that's in a studio environment, that's not ideal remotely. I get it, okay? I don't want to hear it in the comments. I get it. But in a vlogging purpose, that's going to be standard, now, especially for someone like me. I've got long arms. So that's going to be, a 3 foot, distance that microphone's going to be from the subject. What you're listening to now is my Synco Mic D2 that's actually about 3.5 to 4 feet away from my mouth right now. And the reason for that, again, I know that's not ideal, but the reason for doing it that way is because I want people's ears to be fresh going into and hear the improvement going into the actual products that are being reviewed and compared. So I want that. So the preamble is always done at a lower quality. That's the way that I set it up. So going into it, we are recording this on my Tascam DR70D. Like I said, the Audio-Technica needs to use phantom power supplied by some device. In this case, it's going to be the Tascam. And of course, it's using their preamp, so that may give it an advantage already. So again, I don't want you to think this is a fair review, and I don't want this particular review to be which mic is better. So again, I just wanted to see where they stand, sound quality wise. The Comica, it's going into the Tascam with its gain knob set about 6, and it's going into the Tascam, relying on its own internal battery power. So let's get into the sound samples now and see what you think. We'll start with the Audio-Technica. The Audio-Technica AT875R is a short throw condenser shotgun microphone. It is dependent on an external power source, such as a Tascam, Beachtech, but some kind of preamplifier supplying phantom power to the microphone. It's a very diverse microphone that works well in a lot of scenarios and is my favorite microphone for its diversity for many years now. Now let's switch over to the Kamika. The Kamika Vm20 is a purpose-driven microphone. Its intended purpose is to be mounted directly to a DSLR camera, and this is evident by the fact that it has an inbuilt battery, it has an 1/8" jack for direct connection to your camera, and it has a gain knob on the back of the microphone. It also has a high-pass filter that is selectable between 75 and 150 Hertz. Now, let's switch back to the Audio-Technica. The Audio-Technica is a short throw condenser microphone that retails for around $200. It is dependent on a preamp externally, so you have to use a Tascam, Beachtech, or some other device supplying phantom power to the microphone. Now let's switch back to the Kamika. The Kamika is a purpose-driven condenser microphone, and its intended and marketed purpose is to be mounted directly to a DSLR camera. This is obvious by the fact that it has a cold shoe mount, shock mount, and has an 1/8" cable for direct attachment to the camera. It retails for under $150, can often be found on sale for less than that. It has a selectable high-pass filter. It is rechargeable via, its onboard battery is rechargeable via a USB-C cable. With that in mind, a clarification, it has to be a USB-A on the charging side to USB-C on the microphone side. It won't actually charge if you use USB-C on both sides. So it comes with a cable already set up for that, and that's how you charge the microphone. It has a gain knob also. Now let's get into another test. I'm going to generate some pink noise just so that you can hear the off-axis rejection. We're now about 90 degrees. And we're now about 90 degrees to the other direction. .90 degrees. .90 degrees. Well, for some closing thoughts, you may be wondering, what was the purpose of this test? They're two entirely different microphones with, different intended purposes, and that's absolutely right, and that is the purpose of the test, because a lot of people, just like I wrestled with whether or not I should go ahead and spend the money on the Comica, what was going on in my head is, I already have an Audio-Technica. I mean, they're very similar in size, what am I getting if I spend $100 on the Comica? And I started to think about the features. Well, I'm getting, battery life, a lighter weight package because I don't need a preamp. But I had to think of those things that I knew, right? I didn't know the sound. I couldn't think of that as, I couldn't say, well, it's going to have better sound. I didn't know that, so sound was out of the picture. I had to think of if the features that I was getting with the Comica were worth $100. For me, I'm happy that I did spend the money on it because I would rather go with, the difference in sound, I didn't hear any difference in the background noise rejection. It's very, very minimal. I'm looking at the charts and graphs as far as the amount coming through. I don't see a big difference there. I do think the Audio-Technica was better for the background noise rejection, but not by much. I mean, it's pretty marginal from what I've been seeing. So that's the idea. In my mind, yeah, I think it was worth $100 to get the extra features I was getting, the minimalistic package that it is, and everything that it came with, given the sound quality of it, and that's the idea. So hopefully it was helpful, and I'll talk to you later.